Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Super Sunday and the APAT Show. Lee, I don't know about you, but I've had an excellent day. Excellent. I've had an excellent day. It's been a real cracker. How about your own?
Standard Sunday, isn't it? Yeah, nothing special. Happy Easter to you, Des.
Oh, you too, Lee.
Everyone that celebrates. And it's a nice 4 days off if you're in the UK, basically. Although for those that have been doing lockdown, it might just feel like it's just pretty much a standard weekend. But anyway, the sun was shining, the birds were out. It's been a very, very nice weekend.
Beautiful, Lee. I didn't have any chocolate, none at all. That's bad, right?
No, me neither.
You didn't?
But we got Natalie Bromley to consume chocolate on our behalf, so she had a proper selection of chocolate eggs.
Did we see pictures
on Facebook? So yeah.
Saying chocolate all over the mouth and all of that stuff.
She properly got the full work. So yeah, she was quite happy. But
Fantastic.
It's all about kids, isn't it? Kids and chocolate, isn't it? It's like, it's how many eggs? I'm assuming your house was inundated with,
just eggs everywhere, Lee. It was like a chicken coop on a Monday morning. Can I say that? I think I can say that. So
you can get away with that.
Easter eggs aside, and Easter aside, what have we got featured tonight?
So we are on another leaderboard ladders conclusion. 4 events playing tonight. Leaderboard as it stands before going into today's events. Gary Littman, top of the table, 4 cashes this week. Very, very impressive for him. He's been outdone by Don Logan, who's had 5 cashes this week, but is only in second place.
Nice work, Don.
So not quite as deep a run, but
wow.
It's that's quite impressive. We've also got the likes of Andrew Shaw, Yanni, Nanine, John Murray. They're all in the top 20. Matty Ogilvy's in the top 20. Gary Young, Di Farrell's in there. So first event of...
No, hold on. Before you go on to the first event, I don't want to learn anything about all of those guys. I just want to know about Peter Wigglesworth. Is he on the crest of doing it again?
No.
Oh, no.
We're currently looking safe. Insurance company were a bit panicked. He is the only one that is on level number 4. He's only had 1 cash so far this week, guys, it was a min cash. He's currently 104th on the leaderboard.
Not to be. He's gonna just fall down the rankings tonight.
He's gonna bink the last 3 and cost us a small fortune by midnight tonight. That's what's likely to
We shall see.
So so the first event was the deep stack. That was won by a friend from Russia. I'm leaving it at that. If anybody wants to go in the lobby and have a go at it, you're more than welcome. But I don't intend to. But the news on that was Yanni Curacao finished 7th and picked up some more points, which has actually now put him. That's his 4th cash of the week, and that's pushed him up into 3rd place. And those top 5 places are the key ones, obviously. Top 20 are all guaranteed tickets. You pick up 1 ticket, but if you get in the top 5, we double your ticket. So it's 2 tickets for whatever level you're on. If you're top of the table, we triple your tickets, and it's 3 tickets for whatever level you're on. So Yanni is currently now up into 3rd place. So very well done for him.
Nice work.
We've got the 2 main events of the week. It's the No Limit Hold'em started at 7 o'clock. That had 123 runners. The $2,500 prize pool got absolutely smashed. We've got $3,681 in that prize pool. We're down to 21 players. We're playing top 20, so they're currently playing hand for hand as we are getting very close to the money in that. In the PLO, which started at 8 o'clock, 32 runners in that, just got just $40 shy of the $1,000 guarantee tonight. So there's $1,000 in the prize pool. It's going to be paying the top 6 in that. We're down to 12 at the moment. Plenty of the usual suspects in that. Yanni, who we've already mentioned, he's in there. Bobby Law's in there. Nick Rawlings, Dean Pearson, Paul McTaggart, Rich Rudling-Smith. So Sebastian Posch from Germany. So loads of players in that one. Still
You missed one interesting name there, Lee. Francis Lincoln was a WCOAP event winner in season 2. So at the very first WC, he won. If I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong, but I think he won the stud at the Vic.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So a bit of history there. Francis currently in 4th.
A name that I haven't seen playing much APAT online. So,
nice to see Francis back.
That's all good. And then at 9 o'clock, the Turbo Knockout, just a $500 guarantee in that one to end the week. We've doubled that guarantee. It's got $1,030 in that prize pool tonight. 103 players. We're down to 48. We're paying top 17. So we'll keep an eye on that. I can see Gary Young still in there with chips on the first table. Lewis Tabib, Austrian player, is there as well, and a bunch of others. So we will keep an eye on all of those.
Fantastic. And listen, just having a quick look at the chat box, Mr. Wigglesworth is already in there. I've already bust all APAT comms, had an awful week. Only positive is I'm free rolling the Grand Prix. It's still grinding away in that. We don't talk bad beats, but I've had more than my fair share throughout the week. I'm sure we can all sympathise with a decent
we did
bad
say
beat.
on the show last week, I did say, Des, if you could flick the lever on for Mr. Wigglesworth for the week.
Do it.
Not sure whether we can afford level 4 tickets this early on in the promotion.
Great effort, though.
The good thing for Pete is, so he's playing at level 4. For anyone that doesn't know, level 4 is $55 tickets. So everyone starts at level 1. It's $5.50 tickets. If you make it in the top 20, you move up a level to $11 tickets. Same again, up to $33 tickets, $55, and then $109. $109 is the max you can play. But as long as you keep there, you keep playing for $109s. So Pete's the first one to get to level 4. He's the only one that's done it so far. He only drops, if he doesn't stay in the top 20, which he's not going to, he only drops down 1. So next week he's playing for $33 tickets. He's not going back to 0.
Yeah.
He's just drops down
great.
1, and he can have
It's
another go at it. So it's it's not the end of the world. He's just had a bad week. You take a little bit of a dent and you're 1 step back and 2 steps forward kind of thing. It's fingers crossed for him, because we'd love to see somebody get to the 109 and be playing for the 109.
Would we?
No, of course not. No.
What? Really? 109? Yeah. OMG, imagine if they topped the leaderboard that week. They're going to get 3 of them.
Yeah.
That's 327.
That is going to hit heavy on our budget. That is for sure. But, if anyone can do it, Mr. Wigglesworth is the man.
Absolutely.
That's for sure. But good luck in the Grand Prix. Anyway, that must be the Irish Grand Prix.
Yes. I would imagine so.
Which is happening at the moment on Party Poker. So I'm assuming, is that tied in with the Irish Open that's going on at the moment, or is that a completely standalone, separate tournament? I'm not 100% sure.
No idea. No, I'm sure obviously I would imagine the Party Poker Live team will have, carefully coordinated any events that are going on at the same time as the Irish Open. So I'm sure it's there with their blessing. I'm
just looking now. It actually is down as Irish Open event number 6. So it is part of the Irish Open schedule, and it's a Grand Prix. For anyone that's not played those Grand Prix, they're 55. Well, it's 55 euros this time round, and they have a load of starting days in that, and I've no idea what the guarantee is on that one. 250,000.
That's all right.
Yeah. Well, you take that, wouldn't you?
Well, what will first prize be there? About 50 grand? Maybe a little less?
I thought so. It needs 5,000 runners in total.
They'll get it
to hit that guarantee. It's a lovely buy-in tournament for.
Oh, good luck to Peter. Hope it works out for you tonight, my friend.
I'm sure there'll be plenty of others that are playing that. So whatever you're playing, do let us know. Pete says, that's cool. Didn't realize. Damn it. He didn't even realize that he only goes down 1 level.
Well, that's the reason. That's the reason that he's fallen off the pace this week. Didn't understand the full rules.
Yeah. Now you just go down 1 level. And there are situations where we will freeze things. So as we did last, the championship weekend, we said, we would freeze anybody that was above a level 1, step 1. So they didn't go down 1 because so many runners played the championship weekend.
Yeah.
Last week it was the right thing to do. So and hey, there might become a point where we just start, we throw out some boosters. I mean, we might do a Des Duffy giveaway booster where we'll up you a couple of steps 1 week, maybe. No.
What? Boosters?
Yeah, we've got the option.
Boosters?
We're just giving these things away. Not a problem at all. Just watching Richard King bust John Jacobs there. Kings versus Ace King. John got it all in with Ace King suited, and Richard made the call. A couple of diamonds on the board there, which gave a little bit of a sweat.
So we are
but it
down
wasn't to be. And so
to 15 players here, Lee, in the main.
Yeah,
King
so it's
now.
the bubble burst very, very quickly, and Richard King is our chip leader at the moment.
Yeah.
The bubble player was Milan Donaski from the Czech Republic. And so everybody else is now in the money, and already we've got a pay jump. So $72 now is min cash.
Fantastic.
So, I have a feeling we'll fly down to a final table fairly quickly, I would have thought. In this, obviously keeping an eye on the PLO as well, which is down to 10 players and paying top 6. And we know that turbo knockout, that doesn't hang around. 103 runners started at 9 o'clock just over an hour ago. We're down to 39 already. We're paying top 17. So that's going to go well. The main event though, Des, $900 up top tonight.
Yeah, it was great. I thought that was a really good field size. 123 runners.
Yeah,
I mean, smashing the guarantee.
Really
nice, yeah.
And
I'm smiling because I see Mr. Wigglesworth is saying, "Wow, thanks, Des, generous." It's so obvious that I haven't a clue what the hell is going on. I think my only contribution at the moment is being able to turn this live stream on, and then just smoothly getting through the evening. But that's fine. That's cool.
That is enough. But you're in a good mood anyway, because it's been a good weekend for Liverpool. Other results have gone your way. You've got that glimmer of hope now that 4th place in a Champions League spot is still doable. You've found a bit of form. Yeah, everything's rosy in the Anfield Garden again.
Yes.
It's as simple as that.
No, I think, yeah, you've summarised it well.
You're playing centre-backs at centre-back. I mean,
and they're not conceding any goals. 3 clean sheets in a row. Bunch of wins in a row. Jota scoring goals left, right, and centre, which is fantastic.
What's your gut feeling about Tuesday? Now, you said to me a couple of weeks ago when the draw was made, you said don't really fear anybody on our day. We can do whatever. Haven't seen much from Real Madrid to make me think they're that.
Well, they've only lost 4 times in La Liga this season, so people have been quick to write them off. But they're still very much in the hunt for the title. They beat, I think it was Cadiz 2-0 at the weekend, so they're on a run of wins also. But Ramos is out, and I don't fear them. I think the proper terminology would be I respect them. I mean, we could certainly go there and lose 2-0, 3-0. I think we did that with Barcelona 3 years ago, and managed to come back to win in a game that actually we played brilliantly in, I thought, but yet we walked away 3-0 down after the first leg. So, that could happen in Madrid. The other thing to note is the game isn't being played at the Bernabeu. The game's been played it's been played at Madrid's Liga B team's stadium.
Why is it? What's their reason behind that? Have they started their work on their Bernabeu then?
They're renovating the Bernabeu. So
they just decided with lockdown and everything, might just well get on and get it done.
I think Madrid have been playing there most of the season, as I understand.
Oh, really? Okay.
Albeit I can't recall having seen it, but that's my understanding. So, I don't know that makes too much of a difference to either team. I think go over there, fight hard, try and nick an away goal. You come back with a 1-1 or a 2-2, be very happy with that.
Happy playing the away leg first?
Yeah, I honestly, the whole Anfield hoodoo doesn't bother me. I'd rather, come back sort of, knowing what you've got to do in the home leg. So at least then you're not traveling, you're not in hotel, you're not doing all of that sort of nonsense. So yes, you don't have the advantage of the Anfield roar, but no, I genuinely think we can beat them over 2 legs. So we'll have to wait and see. And United, fair play, in the quarterfinals of the Europa League, you're playing an ITV TV region in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, Thursday night. But they've
got a newsreader at goal, I believe.
I believe so. Yeah. So I feel fairly comfortable that we'll do the biz there. I would have thought.
Yeah.
I mean, difficulty for you guys is you're still not getting what that Leipzig result is the first win at Anfield. Was it all year? Something like that. Is that the only game you've won at Anfield this year?
May have been. We lost 6 in a row.
Yeah, it's frightening, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
but this home and away thing doesn't really matter, does it? It's you can see it across all of the leagues. Because there's no fans.
Certainly not as impactful.
Yeah, you hadn't realised how much of a difference what home advantage exactly was until that you don't have fans in, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh wow, okay,
yeah,
does make a big
absolutely.
difference.
And you might argue, and I don't know if it's true, but you might argue that if actually, home support had a big impact on your performances at home, that actually you're slightly disadvantaged over some of the other teams, when that's taken away. But it is what it is, and we're all in the same boat. So, I'm not too bothered about it. I think I was just happy to see good performance on Saturday evening against Arsenal. And I think above and beyond that, with Fabinho back in defensive midfield, Thiago's playing a hell of a lot better. Diego Jota's back from injury now. He's scoring goals in every single game he plays. We've suddenly got 4 people competing for 3 spots up front. It's going to make a difference. So if we keep our head down and keep calm, then I fancy us in the Premier League to maybe get into the top 4. I think that's achievable. The Champions League, well, you're going to need a spot to look, no matter who. The thing is,
you're already going to be lucky in that you only need to beat one of Man City, PSG, or Bayern.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, 100%. 100%.
I mean, to be winning it with only having to play one of those is pretty decent, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. I mean, 100%. That was definitely the side of the draw to be in. And to be honest, and I'll stick my neck out here. I don't think City are going to have it all their own way against Dortmund. I think they might find that a tough game. Dortmund are a very, very lively team, and that sort of team unsettles City in my view.
Yeah, but they lost. I mean, Dortmund are just, I don't know. I mean, they lost again on the weekend, 2-1 to Eintracht Frankfurt. I just can't see Man City just too dominant. I don't.
What odds? What odds are you going to give me then?
I don't see Dortmund. What you think Dortmund over 2 legs? Really?
I think they could. Yeah, I think they could. Because we'd have had the same discussion before the Lyon quarterfinal that City played last year. We'd have had absolutely the same discussion. There's no. Now, granted, it was a single leg affair, right, last season, but there's no way you'd have said Lyon would have knocked City out of the quarterfinals, the Champions League, but they did. So I think I think it would be a huge surprise. I just think Dortmund have proven that they can get themselves up for big games. This is a big game. Haaland is on show. He'll be hugely motivated to score. Now, whether that actually becomes a barrier, maybe we'll have to see. But I wouldn't be taking that 100% for granted if I was a City fan.
Wow. Okay. Fair enough. I mean, Tuesday night, I mean, Dortmund is 6-1 to win that game.
That City game on its own.
2-1. Yeah, that game on its own.
Bless their cotton socks. Sky Bet sent me a £10 free bet a couple of days ago, so I will stick that on Dortmund.
Dortmund to qualify, 7-2. City is 6-1 on.
Oh, okay. So of course, Tuesday night is City's home leg.
Yeah. So if you wanted Dortmund to qualify, so it doesn't matter how, just Dortmund to qualify is 7-2.
Which, to be honest, reasonable odds, I'd have said. I mean, there's a pretty big odds though in a 2-horse race.
Yeah, and I mean, granted, I mean, Dortmund have got some decent players, and if they turn, and we know Man City have bottled it in the past.
Yeah, I think if Dortmund get a couple of away goals, that's going to be a lot of pressure on City in the second leg.
Would you say City would are good enough and would deserve the quadruple this season if they got all 4? Would you feel that actually this City, or would you feel it?
No. If they win the quadruple,
I don't even think this City squad is the best City squad there's been in the Premier League, even.
So I think that's a reasonable call. But at the end of the day, you can only beat what's put in front of you. And after a shaky enough start in the league, they've come through with flying colours. They're making it work for themselves. They're very stable, very strong. So for me, when I saw the draws come in for the Champions League and the FA Cup, I thought to myself, if City do go on and win that quadruple, I mean, that's, I think, the most outstanding football performance of any season, because they've got the tough draw in the FA Cup, Chelsea. I think they've got the toughest draw maybe not the toughest. Perhaps Bayern are the toughest, but they've got to get through both Dortmund and Bayern or PSG before they get to a champ, before they even get to the final. That's a tough draw. They've got to beat Spurs in the League Cup final. That won't be easy. So, hats off to them if they do it.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see. Just watching the players, we're now on the we've hit the final table because basically it's just been annihilation. Richard King just bust David Gillespie in 10th place. And he's going to go onto this final table as a significant chip leader, twice the chips of the next best player, which will be Martin Rumens from Belgium. Sven Pedersen from Canada will be in third.
There we go.
Daniela, and I'm going to struggle to get a surname, Zimmermann from Germany. Another German player, Jens Hevelmann, fifth. Dimitrios Aspadolidis from Greece. It will be our sixth player. Tony Ross. Wouldn't be a final table without Tony Ross. It's just there, isn't he?
Tony's in the chat box as well.
Ray Chan from Canada, and making up not making up the numbers, but the short stack is Nanine Rogers, who we know has played plenty of APAT events over the last 12 months and had a decent record. So good luck to the 9 of you. We've got our final table for the night, all guaranteed now $100. And, we'll see how this plays out. But we certainly know that Richard has won a number of APAT tournaments during lockdown and knows what to do from this.
It looks like a good field. Obviously, some of these players we don't know, but of the ones that we do know, they're all quality players. So should be a good final table, I'd have thought.
Yeah, we're also in the money and on the final table of the PLO as well. Give a quick shout out to there. Sharon Sung is chip leader in that. Francis Lincoln, who Des was mentioning earlier on, second in chips. Harach Kigatian from Belgium there. Yanni is fourth in chips. Yanni going for the top spot.
Great.
In the leaderboard. Sebastian Posch from Germany and short stack at the PLO is Richard Rudling Smith. So good luck to the 6 of you. We'll keep an eye on that as well. Des cracks open another bevy for the night.
Only a Diet Coke, my first of the day.
The third crate of beer he's got through this weekend. He's basically been doing a 72-hour barbecue, catching up for lost time.
It's not easy, Lee. It's not easy.
This is the trouble. Everyone's gone mad in the UK. Bit of sunshine. A bunch of people have had their vaccines, and everyone's gone, right, come on. Let's get outside and meet people. Apparently, they're all meeting people. It's the thing.
Yes. So they are. It's all ahead of us, Lee. It's all ahead of us. I'm sure it is. I intend to be out at some stage in the not too distant future, but got to be sensible. Going to be sensible about it. Yanni is saying that Tony Ross isn't even ranked in the Ilfracombe school. So a little bit of stick, a little bit of browbeating there.
That's what you want. So, of course, the big news of the week, when we're talking about going and doing and making plans, is, of course, for whatever reason, the World Series of Poker decided to announce potential dates for this on the morning of the 1st of April, which sent the poker Twitter community into meltdown as to how genuine this whole thing was. And when you saw the press release and the announcement, you kind of thought, well, that looks very genuine for it to be an April Fool. But yeah, who on earth releases this kind of stuff on the morning of the 1st of April?
Bizarre. But we think it's real.
They've announced some dates, and there's a lot of conditions in there of as long as the local jurisdictions allow this to happen and that to happen and everything else. But already there's people making some plans and going, right, how much are flights to Vegas again? Do you remember what that was all about? So it looks like it's on.
Well, I mean, exciting. It's lovely to see a set of dates out for the World Series of Poker. I think it does, create a feel good because we all love it, whether we're getting there or not. Just seeing the events and getting a sense of this thing coming around and it's starting, and the British players in particular, if you know some of the guys, just how they're getting on, and I think it's it has always been a great start to the summer. Now it's not happening in the summer; it's happening in blooming October by all accounts. But they'll make that work. I mean, Vegas in October, I think it'll be fine. It'll be a bit colder.
Make much difference, to be perfectly honest. I mean, it's a few things that it's going to have an interesting clash with, because my gut feeling was that the first big event we were going to see, I thought, would be the Caribbean poker party in November. I thought that'll be on. We'll see that happen. But of course, I don't know how you can run that in November if you've got the World Series of Poker happening in Vegas, because it's known that nobody runs anything major poker-wise anywhere else in the world during the World Series, because all the player pool are there. So that'll be an interesting one to see how they make that work. But it feels about right from a UK point of view. That's for sure. They're talking about. I think everybody over the age of 40 having had their vaccine by, they're saying sort of the middle end of May. They're talking about as being a thing, which means then you've got another couple of months and second vaccine. So there's going to be a significant proportion of the UK that's going to have had double vaccine by the time we get to September. Which means travel shouldn't be an issue. Obviously, it brings up in the whole new thing of vaccine passports. Should that be a thing or not? And there's been huge debate on that this week. But it feels like, timing wise, I mean, what's your gut feeling? Would you be up for hopping on a plane in October and going to Vegas for a couple of weeks?
I think so. I mean, I'd be surprised if we weren't back to that level of normality by October. I'd be a little surprised. But the variable there is that, of course, it's moving back into winter. And despite what's happening now, a lot of feel-good stuff happening now, a lot of numbers coming down, which is great. But that isn't the case elsewhere. I mean, you look at France, it's a goddamn disaster at the moment. But we don't quite know what will happen once the winter kicks in, and flus tend to be just more prevalent. The conditions are more suitable for them. So we'll just have to wait and see, I think.
But would you take it that if you've had your double vaccine, so you've had both jabs, and it's been a good month after you've had your second jab, supposedly you're not at risk anymore, and you're not at risk of passing it on. Now, if that's definitely the case, then does it not make a case of, well, it doesn't really matter then what's going on elsewhere? It's a little bit of I'm all right, Jack. Well, I think therefore you can travel.
I think it's a really interesting question, and there's lots of potential strings to the response. I guess my response is, I feel like I've done the right thing over the last year. I've been patient, been cautious. I've played it safe. At a point, we have to sort of start getting back to some level of normality. It's got to happen. Now, we can continue to decide, as people, whether or not we want to shake hands with each other. That can be a thing that we can decide on the fly. But at some point, we're going to have to start attending meetings and getting on flights and doing the sort of stuff that we had to do before. I think we're going to have to get back to that. Now, if that's for pleasure, that's a choice for the individual. But at some point, for work, and we need to start getting back to a closer level of normality, I would say. So October feels to me like, it could be getting on side with that. Now, that all of that said, I don't think I'm going to be going to Vegas in October, but I'm not anti the idea of it as we stand right now. But I think, one thing that we have sort of learned in the last year is that we have to be very agile, and we have to be very prepared to change our thinking quite quickly if the situation requires that. And the majority of people have been able to do that, which has been pretty impressive, I have to say.
So let us know in the chat. I mean, are you contemplating? Would you book a flight now for Vegas in October for a couple of weeks during the series? Would that be your first port of call when you can actually leave your country of residence? Let us know what your thoughts are. I know Mr. Wigglesworth has
got a plan, hasn't he?
Had flights booked, and that were flexible for a little while and just decided he would get in and get a good deal. I mean, there's some good deals around at the moment. That's for sure.
Are there,
Anybody that's
what type of ticket
anyone
price,
that's
Lee?
in the UK that's got is with Virgin Atlantic Flying Club,
Yeah.
where you earn the miles. They're during April they're doing a 50% bonus on mile purchases. Obviously, it's a way for them to get some cash in, but it's also a very good way of you boosting your miles if you want to
Yeah.
go and do a trip. It's a cheaper way of doing it than actually buying the flight itself. That's for sure. So if
there
you
are
haven't had a
options.
look at that, log onto your account and have a look.
Yeah, absolutely. Plenty of people within the poker space who would have miles with Virgin, I would have thought. But it'll be nice to see it coming back. And, it's funny that such a major announcement was made last week with regards to a live event, because, of course, over the last week or two, we've had several big announcements with regards to online festivals that are happening sort of pretty much right now. They're coming.
Massive started today, 2 of them. They've kicked off today. So first up was PokerStars that announced the usual scoop,
Yep.
Spring Championship of Online Poker, which is obviously apparently this year, this particular one is going to see the prize pools over $1 billion in total since they've been running it.
Wow.
Which is just phenomenal when you think about it. So they guaranteed 100 million, 100 plus events. Bunch, I think it's 5 million guaranteed main events. So you're thinking, wow, that is going to be a crazy spring. Looking forward to that. Everyone thought, well, would it dumb down a little bit after last year? It all got a bit crazy last summer. Things
Evidently
were
not.
extended with the provincial lockdown. So you thought, no, so Stars have gone for it, and you thought, well, that's going to be as good as it's going to get, yeah. Until Gigi announced
this company, right? This company.
Very, very quickly on the back of Stars confirming their schedule, Gigi went, hold my pint, and went, right, we're going to do 150 million guaranteed. And we're going to do the same dates that Stars are doing. And we're going to do 2 $10 million guaranteed main events. And I think they've got 39 of their tournaments where the guarantee is over $1 million.
Wow. I mean, those are astonishing numbers. That is like saying, hold my pint, and then doing a very deep reach. They did a very deep reach. They put it all out there on the table. And I think, Lee, because obviously Party are in the mix as well, slightly lower level, understandably.
So PowerFest, which we knew the dates were going to be around this sort of time. They've not gone for exactly the same dates as the other two.
Good.
But they very quickly, earlier on this week, basically just confirmed, PowerFest is coming end of April, and it will have $1 million guaranteed main event, and more info to come. I mean, they're not going to topple the other two from a numbers point of view. I'd be very surprised. But for a fact that you'll get good quality. PowerFest is always a good quality series. With good tournaments and good guarantees, but that's going to be, so it's already at $250 million with the other two. You throw Party into that and a few of the other things that are going on as well. It's a spring. It's going to be around a 4 or 5 week period where there's going to be 300, 400 million of additional guarantees, more so than the normal daily, weekly schedules that the sites always do anyway.
I think that'll be a great barometer of where we are a year on, for people who have been playing online during that period of time. A lot of recreational players, a lot of pros. We'll find out who's burnt themselves out and who hasn't, because there's tremendous guarantees on the table there.
Well, interestingly, last summer, Patrick Leonard was one that was very strongly making the point that there's going to be no money left. You're burning out players, the pro players, with the amount of volume that they're having to play, and to a certain extent, recreational players taking a punt at these whilst they were during lockdown. And obviously, you'd assume 12 months on, financially, things are a little bit tighter for a lot of people now than they were 12 months ago. We've seen a lot of companies going through redundancies. We're seeing companies now coming out of furlough. And what are they going to do? The economy has shrunk significantly. Is there a country in the world where the economy's not shrunk in the last 12 months? There can't be very many, if there is any at all. So it will be interesting to see whether they're hitting these guarantees, and that there is the liquidity in the market to be playing across multiple sites at the same time. It's a very, very strange one. But as you said, that company, and it's GG I'm talking about, is they've just said, well, we want to be number one, so they're going for it.
Wow.
And you've got to you just have to say, wow. You have to say, well, that's fair play to you for doing it. I think Rob Young said when he was on the Orbit last year that, Party weren't going to, compete like that. He made that quite clear that wasn't something that they would be looking to do. And obviously he works quite closely with Party Poker on their kind of what they're doing as a business. And that wasn't going to be a thing that they were going to, they weren't going to try and compete with, because ultimately, somebody's going to go bust with it. Well, I don't know whether that's the case, because they're all having good results. And as we spoke about last week, as the industry pick up on the results of the groups, they're year on year are looking good. But at some point, someone's going to take a heavy hit on some of these guarantees, because there can't just be the money out there to fuel it. Yeah. Surely not.
Yeah, you have to assume so. But we're learning, right? We don't quite know where the line is, because we clearly haven't gone beyond it yet. So maybe we'll find out in the next 3 to 4 to 5 weeks whether in fact there is a line, and whether we've hit it. Because this year, of course, on top of all of these tournaments, you're obviously going to have W Coup, from Stars, and the equivalents from the other sites coming in late summer. You got the World Series of Poker. So there is already a tremendous amount of noise around a player's bankroll.
Well, part of the World Series announcement was they did confirm that there would be another online, which obviously was a huge success last summer for them. But as you say, you've got a situation whereby, and I'm not sure what proportion of the World Series, kind of events is non-US or non-North American players. So I don't know what percentage of their prize pools comes from players traveling from the rest of the world, and whether that's a big impact, whether they've taken a view that actually its majority of it is US facing live players anyway, so they're not overly bothered about it. I'm not even sure. Do they put guarantees on all of their events in the World Series, or is it sometimes just a case of just they put the events up and they speak for themselves?
Definitely they don't put guarantees on all of their events. I'm pretty sure.
No, I don't think they did.
That isn't the case. So. Don't need to really, do they?
Meanwhile, in the Omaha, the APAT Show BOC continues in full effect. Francis Lincoln was second in chips going onto this final table. Des bigged him up massively and busted 6th. So well done, Des.
And I'm seeing a late flourish from the Welsh, as we've seen many, many times before. Richard Rudling Smith, Mr. Rudders, has gone from last on the final table to second with 5 remaining.
Exactly. So, making his move. Just looking in the chat, Pete Wigglesworth says, I haven't rebooked my Virgin flights yet, but we'll do that once I'm back at work next week. However, he plans to go for 3 weeks in October. So if you were umming and ahhing whether to go or not, I mean, now you know that the value is going to be in Vegas for 3 weeks in October. Surely everybody's going to be jumping on
There's
the plane.
The incentive.
Pete
will be over there with a copious amount of 109 tickets. Go and win those 109 tickets from him. The only other thing we should say is that these dates are heavily caveated by, but
massively.
In case the therefore just be careful if you're booking anything that you have the ability to get a refund.
Yeah, but it looks like a lot of the travel companies at the moment are building in these COVID flexibility things in what they're doing at the moment. They're all desperate to get you to book a holiday. But I think they're all fully aware that if restrictions change, then they've got to be flexible on that.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised that so many of them have apparently made it through. I'd be a little bit wary of just airlines and travel companies and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, it's the same with even just the airports. I mean, Gatwick Airport in the UK, London, has been hardly doing anything for 12 months.
It's got tumbleweed on runway 27, just
Yeah, it's and you think, well, and they've not just furloughed a load of people, they made a load of people redundant. There's a big thing going on locally with me at the moment. They're looking at trying extending the runway at Southampton Airport so they can actually take some of the bigger planes. Um,
Really neat.
yeah, because well, most of the flights coming out of there were Flybe flights, and obviously Flybe went bust. So they've just been hit massively. I mean, they basically made most of the people in the airport redundant, and the only way they could see to do this was to try and extend it. Of course, it's got refused the first planning permission, so they're going again. They don't need to actually extend it by very much, but just a little bit will mean they can then look at doing some of the charter flights, holiday
Yeah,
destinations, that type of thing.
they've got a lot of water around Southampton Airport, right?
No. It's
Oh, you're
actually
right.
it's
Yeah.
easterly.
I'm seeing it in my mind now.
Yeah. You sometimes fly out all over the water before you come back
Yeah.
in, but
Yeah.
basically, but it's blocked the one way by one end of the runway is the M27, so you're not doing anything about that.
No.
That's staying, and
Got a traffic light system.
But the other end of the runway, you've got a little bit of land between the end of the runway and train tracks. So there's enough there to just go a little bit further. So it's actually not an issue with the land. The issue they've got and why they've turned it down first time is simply the noise pollution and what it's going to do. So they've turned it down for that reason. But it'll go again. And I can't see why. I think the economy argument will win out, and they will look to do it. I would have thought.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. I mean, if you can, we need every little win, economy-wise, locally.
Just watching Richard King all in with sevens against Martin's queens. It's the queens that are at risk, and Martin's going to get a huge double up there, putting him over 2 million chips, and that's a massive dent into Richard's stack, who was our chip leader at the start of this final table and is now 7th of 7. Martin Rumens from Belgium is now our chip leader with 2.1 million. So a massive turnaround there. I think.
Have you
sevens there?
you're gonna have a little. Yeah, you're gonna fancy it, particularly when you've got the big stack. But he's been caught out there. Have you ever flown into Gibraltar?
No, I haven't.
So Gibraltar has a beautifully wide, long runway. The airport, right by the rock. So it's it's a breathtaking sort of location. But across the middle of the runway, right smack in the middle of the runway, is a road.
Oh yes, I've heard about this. Yes,
yeah.
You have to,
So it's incredible to either fly in or out and go over the road because you have to. It's even more spectacular if you're walking on the street, because it's like a local type road. It's not like a motorway type situation. No, it's a local type road. If you're walking onto the island, or into the town part of the island, you've got to walk down that road. So when the little gates lift and you're safe to cross the road, you're literally walking across the runway of Gibraltar Airport, looking left and right. Wow. Spectacular.
Wow.
Absolutely fantastic.
The best or most interesting airport I've ever flown in and out of is St. Martin.
Oh yeah, I've seen the videos.
In the Caribbean.
That looks.
You've seen the videos?
Oh yeah, I'm not going to be the person standing on the beach. That's for sure.
It's bonkers. that's 747s land on that island. And for anyone that's not seen it, go and check out the YouTube clips. So basically, at the end of the runway, there's a single track that goes along there, and then there's the beach. And there's a bar on the beach just off to the side, which has all of the times of all of the big planes coming into land into St. Martin.
No, you're mistaken. That is actually the arrivals hall.
Yeah, and the other end of the runway, it's hills. So the reason that they point away from the beach and literally go, and if you're stood on the beach, you will watch people be blown off the beach into the water.
That's fantastic.
But they take off and then you have to bank away so quickly, otherwise you'd be straight into the hills.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And when you come into land, you come in over the beach or over the water, and you think, well, how are we? We're never, we're never landing here, are we?
Well,
This
there's
is
some great
it's just
videos on
insane.
YouTube. I've seen people stand at the fence right at the bottom of the runway.
Clinging
So,
on, literally clinging on.
you're holding on because you're getting hit by jet blast. But when that plane comes over your head, it looks to me as if there's 20, 30 feet of clearance. It's nothing.
Yeah,
It's really nothing.
It really is nothing at all. Yeah, it's quite crazy.
Listen, talking about
crazy.
big spenders and jets and what have you, Mr. Ross, Lee, have I done enough to make step 4? Wow. Is Tony going to become one of the chosen ones?
What, into the step 4 club?
Into the step 4 club, of which there is only currently one member.
Currently, Pete Wigglesworth is currently in the step 4 club, but he's about to depart from the step 4 club because he's already said he's bust everything. As it stands, let's see. So what's Tony? Is Tony left in anything now or not? No, because he's bust everything that I can see. Yeah, he's bust everything that I can see. So where I am at the moment, Tony, up to date with the scores, the results that I've got in, you are currently sat. Let's have a look.
Hold on, do I have a drum? Do I have a drum?
Sat 9th.
Wow.
Currently sat 9th. So he's playing for $33 tickets.
He's in good shape.
So at the moment, he's looking like, yeah.
Sorry, that was a little bit late.
Yeah, currently sat 9th, but obviously there are some, there's going to be some big scores from the final 6 in the main event tonight. That's for sure. But yeah, currently sat in 9th, so in with a very, very good shout of playing step 4 next week, and I'd imagine he'll go for it, Tony.
Lovely. I love it.
I'd imagine he'll be playing.
Yeah, listen, Yanni, I think, thinks that Tony was just showing off there. He knew exactly where he was on the leaderboard. He just wanted to get that out there that he's a step 4 and he's going to be stepping up. That's incredible. Yanni also added, I'm scared of flying. I didn't like it. Also, you island hop on small planes. You could put your hand out the airplane with gaps. I find gaps in an airplane never a good thing. Never a selling point.
Not ideal. Not ideal. The other one that's playing for step 4 this week, currently on step 3, is Gary Young.
Wow. Nice.
So Gary's he's currently 18th, but he is second in chips in the Turbo Knockout with 18 players left. So they're coming at nearly in the money there. So he's going to add.
Are they down to 18? Points. Crikey, I looked at that.
I told you the Turbo.
I looked at that 40 minutes ago. It was like there was about 60 players left.
They don't mess about. So Gary's another one who's just going. These players. Pete Wigglesworth did this as well. Des, just nothing crazy. Just just in the low teens, enough to get you through to the next week and up the step and pick up a ticket, and great, I've got an extra ticket, fine, nice
and calm.
And then one of these days, one of them's going to do that, and then they're going to smash it the following week, and we're going to be forking out three big tickets.
Forking hell, Lee. Forking hell.
Yeah, we can't.
So I'm just giving you a headline.
We spent everything on our Easter promo.
Oh,
we didn't do an Easter promo, did we? No, we should have.
It's all the beers that are brought in over the last week, Lee. That's
quite
just
right.
That was the spare budget.
But of course, so we got a big an announcement from Boris tomorrow night.
Have we?
To look forward to. Yeah.
What's he going to say? I mean, what could he possibly say that won't get ripped to shreds?
Yeah.
By everyone.
I can't think of much. Have you seen they're doing a a drama? I don't think it's to call it a documentary, but they're currently filming a drama of the early lockdown kind of time.
Or with people starring as Boris and Matt Hancock and really?
Yeah.
Wow, who would play Boris? Who would play your Boris?
Well, I know who I would pick to play Boris, but I also know who they have chosen, which is a bit of a bizarre choice.
I'm much more interested in who you would pick.
Yeah, because their choice is an absolute, knighted lovey, which makes no sense whatsoever. Yeah, it just.
But they do amazing things with makeup, don't they? And a good actor can pull off.
It's a very, 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 very bizarre who they've chosen. But I'll tell you who I think is the only person that should be playing Boris in any sort of drama.
Is it Prince Charles?
No, it's not. Matt Lucas.
Oh, yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just simple. Just don't worry.
Absolutely
Don't worry
fantastic.
with anyone else. And do you know who they've gone with?
Who?
So I've been told.
Yeah.
Branagh.
No, Kenneth Branagh
Apparently,
to play
Kenneth
Boris.
Branagh.
Really?
Apparently. So Jen told me earlier on. I'm assuming it wasn't a wind up, but apparently so. Yeah.
Be safe. Stay alert.
Yeah, exactly. It just makes no sense. Absolutely makes no sense. Whereas Matt Lucas would be
fantastic.
Sensational.
Be standing there like this.
Sensational. Yeah.
And it's got a problem.
His Boris is. I'm not sure who does the voice of Boris in Spitting. Did you watch the new series of Spitting Image?
No, didn't get there.
Oh,
didn't get
brilliant.
there.
Absolutely brilliant. Really, really, really good. But I don't know who did the voice. I would imagine it might have been like a John Culshaw or someone like that would have done it. But yeah, very, very good.
I have to
say,
if
you haven't watched it, seriously, pay the $5.99. Take BritBox for 1 month. Watch it. Watch
it's
them
worth
all,
it.
and then just ditch
it. I'm sure if I went to YouTube, amazing. There'd be clips and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's on a list.
The new Spitting Image, the Priti Patel, is
superb.
Insanely good. Yeah, very.
But if you look at something like The Crown, right, on Netflix, you just see how well some of these actors can play. Some of these real life characters. The Diana actress, Charles, are just fantastic the way they play them. They feel so real.
Yes, no, they are very, very good method actors, aren't they? And what they do. Just reading with Tony and Tony.
They're just having a little. They're just having a little bink with themselves in the chat box. Yeah. Tony says Yanni is showing off because he once won a Caribbean poker package. I think he told me once. And Yanni's saying, you had to Google where it was, Tony. You thought it was in Wales. Is the Caribbean not in Wales? I thought it was in Yorkshire.
Well, Yanni went to the same one that I played in, which was a St. Martin one. So I'd imagine
the same one.
Yanni, Yanni
at the same time.
Same
wow.
year. Yeah, I would imagine Yanni did that. Will have done that flight into that. Into that airport.
No, well, yeah, I think that's why he responded about the airport thing. Absolutely crazy place. I went into Kai Tak once in Hong Kong before it closed, and with that you sort of circle the city and you fly in. It's very scary, like some extreme landing points, but good, all good.
I'm assuming with your flight simulator you could attempt that landing and take off in and out of St. Martin, could you?
Yeah, absolutely. I've done the landing. I've done the landing at what is it called? Is it Lukaka or something like that? I know that sounds like
which is the one out on the river.
The river.
We're just watching Yen's ace jack against Ray's queens, and he hit an ace on the flop.
Oof.
So double up Yen's and leaves Ray very short stack now.
The one that I was referring to it's the closest airport to base camp for Mount Everest.
Ah, right.
So it's at like whatever 6,000 meters. It's on a slope. It's very short, and it's got death all around it as you fly in. It's like it's just a horrible airport. So on Flight Simulator, it does identify landing challenges into some of the toughest airports in the world.
There's a couple of great ones I've seen when I've been on skiing holidays, where you think you're halfway down the mountain, you look and you go, it's a bloody airport.
Looks like a runway.
Yeah, like how? And there's and it literally. I mean, the runway. I guess you just get up to speed and you go off the edge.
Yeah,
and hopefully that's enough to keep you going.
Well, there's Courchevel in
Courchevel. Yes,
in either France or Switzerland. But it's absolutely that again, downhill. And you just fly off the edge of the thing into the mountains. It's incredible.
Players are on a break. We are 5 minutes to the hour, 5 minutes to 11, actually, funnily enough. And we're down to 5 players left now in the main event. We've got 5 left in the Omaha as well. And we are in the money in the Turbo Knockout. 16 players remaining in that. So they're all in the money. Nice little prize up there. It's $11 tournaments. There's $100 up top for first and second, plus the bounties. I think it was last week. The bounties on it were go up to nearly $200. So...
Gary Young handily placed in third.
Absolutely. So Pete Wiggles was saying, don't diss Kenneth Branagh. I'm not dissing Kenneth Branagh. I'm just simply that you'd have thought if you're doing a whole drama thing with Boris and lockdown, why on earth would you pick Kenneth Branagh to basically take the lead in that?
I mean, if you're going to go for Kenneth Branagh, you might as well go for Sean Bean.
Pete said he went to school with him.
Pete went to school with Kenneth Branagh.
And he was in Toad of Toad Hall acting with him in the school production. He was Toad and Pete was the fox.
What? Really?
Pete, why aren't you on the show tonight? Just jump.
I'm just trying to process that. Yeah. Do you have any like pictures? Because if you send them to Lee and I, we promise we won't send them to the Sun. Okay, we promise. Little payday for us there, Lee.
Yeah, we need proof of that. So Pete Wiggs says the Pontefract Caribbean Poker Tour. Yeah, very nice. Frank Bailey says so. Matt Ford is the voiceover for Boris and Trump apparently in Spitting Image. So
I've got to watch that. I'm going to write that down. Again.
Seriously, the Trump one is so they've got a coronavirus.
We're on a break, aren't we? We're on a break.
Yeah.
I can do this.
So they've got a coronavirus spitting image puppet.
Yeah.
And Trump calls it Coroni. It's his friend. Yeah. So he's friends with Coroni, the coronavirus spitting image puppet. So it is well worth it. So Pete Wigglesworth said he had one line. I'd love to know what the one line is. So
did you know, was it anything to do with being alert?
Possibly.
Oh, here we go.
Sir, it's a sterile space. You don't need to wear a mask.
It's not a mask. It's a feed bag. Now listen, I'm tired of waiting for you.
It's brilliant. He's actually his hair is actually its own puppet as well, which is very, very funny.
Is that a dead Putin behind him there?
No, that'll be Mike Pence.
Oh, holy Jesus! So it is. OMG! No, that does look good. Yeah, we'll give that I'll give that a look, mate.
It's well worth checking out. You just need, to be honest, it can be even cheaper if you find someone that's got a BritBox account, and you're laughing.
Well,
that's all you need. Yeah,
I have so many of these things, Lee. I have so many accounts, and I went through my my bank statement, as I tend to do from time to time, and I listed down all of the things that I'm paying for that I rarely use. So cleaned up a few of those, but I hate adding stuff like the occasional BritBox. I mean, Disney has somehow started to appear on my bill.
I've avoided Disney at the moment.
Yeah,
but at some point I'm going to have to do it because I really want to watch the Mandalorian. At some point I'm going to do it, but
that's the issue.
But I must admit, BritBox has been on. We generally wanted to watch Spitting Image, so I put it on for that. But it's probably been 2 months now where it's been $5.99 a month, and I've not actually gone on there or even looked for anything.
That's the point.
So I think it's going to be a case of we'll switch that off for the time being and wait until it comes back. Pete. We're back on Pete and Sir Kenneth. Half a pair of socks and pillowcase shirt this week. Washerwoman might it doesn't. Oh, he actually knows his line.
Is this it? Okay.
This is his actual line.
Let me try this. Half a pair of socks and pillowcase shirt this week, washerwoman. Might it doesn't happen again. Oh, Toad. Toad was dressed as a washer.
Yes, I know that scene.
The line together.
Yes, I know the scene. Wow. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, and he meant pillowcase short. And he says, but he did get it right on the night. Honestly, very good. That's a claim. That is a proper claim to fame. So I know you don't watch Only Connect. It's not your with Victoria Coren Mitchell. But anyway, one of the things on that show is at the beginning of the show, she introduces the teams every week, and each person that she introduces gets a fact or something, so that it's something about them. And if you're on the show from the start to the final, you're probably on maybe 4 times, maybe even 5, something like that across the season. And I was thinking, and they're always really crazy stuff, like hey, on his left is Des Duffy. Des Des once shook a cocktail for Michael Portillo in a in a Soho pub or something like that. So it's just ridiculously stupid. But I think I'd struggle to think of one or two really things that are just a bit weird that I could say I've done in my lifetime. But for Pete, yes, I was in a school production with Sir Kenneth Branagh. Is very much one of those things
That's
I've
fantastic.
done that I could put out there and do. I could probably get away with I turned a cent roll into a significant bit of money in a poker tournament. But I struggle to think what else I'd actually be able to my claim to fame, or just a bit quirky that I could say I've done in life.
Yeah, I got an interesting one. I mean, I got a couple of little ones of that I wouldn't talk about, but one interesting one that I would mention back in 77 or 78. When I was but a wee lad, my mum used to own a shop, and in our town in the west of Ireland, and a movie star bought a house quite close to the town, and he would regularly come into the shop, and this guy had starred in quite a big film in 1977, so you can imagine the excitement that would be created when he walked into the shop.
Yeah.
Well, there aren't too many films that came out of 77 that might be, I'm pretty sure it was 77, that might be seen as, big globally. Hazard a guess?
77, are we talking Star Wars?
Not Star Wars.
What else was there in 77? Not Close Encounter?
No.
Close Encounters? No.
Yeah, I mean, you've named two of the top 3 or 4 films there straight away.
75 was Jaws, so it's a bit.
Well, can I change that to 75 then? Jaws.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So one of the
yeah.
stars of Jaws, who you would know, Robert Shaw, who was in many films, but he was the cantankerous boat captain in Jaws.
Yeah.
And in 77 he bought a house in Tormakeady, close to Westport, and he would come into the shop regularly and buy his groceries and stuff like that. It was pretty cool. Pretty cool.
I like it. Yeah, very good. Well, let us know, guys, if you've got any claim to fames like Pete Wigglesworth's. I'm interested to know, because
cannot beat that one.
With Tony Ross is saying Smokey and the Bandit. I don't know whether he's still talking to Yanni or whether.
Oh, he's talking about 77, right?
I
He
think
thinks maybe that
he's going for
Justice
film.
JT Chubb came into my place. Hey, son, you some bitch. My mother would not have stood for that, Tony. She'd have slapped him one.
Definitely not. Smokey and the Bandit.
Who was that?
As
That
politically
was,
incorrect a group of films as you're likely to ever get.
Probably up there.
It was
Burt Reynolds, right?
Yeah. So on the quiz so we did a Easter special quiz on Friday night, and one of the questions was regarding the film The Easter Parade, which stars Judy Garland. It was a question about her. But it was on this afternoon. We finished
the film.
We finished binge watching what were we watching? The One. On
any
Netflix.
good?
Very good. Yeah, really
Okay.
good. Yeah, Jen's read the book. It's nothing like the book. So if you've read the book and we're thinking I wouldn't bother, it's fine. It's completely different. But yeah, and on was Easter Parade, and you kind of realize how politically incorrect and just wrong the films of those times really were. Really,
absolutely.
As Richard hits quads with his queens.
Wow, back in it, big
and
style.
Very much as takes the chip lead from Martin. Very nice hand for him. Raised it up on the button. Martin shoved with the ace king, and Richard snaps it off with the queens and makes flops another queen and rivered the quads. So
I did.
Nice for him.
Oh, hello. Oh no, that hand's complete. I did watch something that I thought was pretty spectacular during the week.
We're just going to lose Demetrius there. 8s versus 9s. Ray Chan with the 9s.
Sir.
So we are down to 4.
The documentary of Jack Charlton. Don't know if you.
I haven't watched it. I saw it was really advertised the other night. Is it good? Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth watching. I don't know, how much you'll get from it if if you're not Irish and you hadn't lived through that whole period of success that he brought. But that's
Oh
that's
no, but I
obviously
think it's
a
I think
pretty
a lot of
chunky
people
part of
could
the story.
around the kind of early 90s, culminating, I guess, in the 94 World Cup in the States.
Yeah, just
Yeah, I mean,
incredible times, having lived through them.
yeah. So Pete Wheelworth says what I was going to say, which was Tom Banks must have oodles, and it's like, yeah, I can only imagine Tom's got more questions, as possible. So Tristan says, I'm never playing the name drop game again after Karen Balby once told me she'd met the Queen. You just can't beat that.
Oh, I love Freddie. Miss him so much.
So Yanni says was good. So it's really, so Pete's coming back in going, I've opened with Sir Kenneth Branagh, and he's now throwing Formula One stuff into the equation.
Oh, I'm behind. I can't deal with this. That's impressive. Yeah, I haven't got anything.
So drove David Coulthard to the race circuit in Sepang with his best mate Andy in Kuala Lumpur. My only Formula One thing is that I've met Jenson Button, but I wasn't the only one that met him at the time. But it was
even I've met Jenson Button.
Yeah, but I kind of I happened to run good at a Vodafone thing once and got invited to the McLaren.
Oh, I think I remember you saying this before.
Center, and then they randomly picked like 4 of us to get to go and actually kind of meet him, have a photo, and get a signed shirt and stuff like that. And I happened to be in this room of 300 people. So that's how good I run.
Happy days.
My mate that I invited with me, because he only used to work around the corner, I said, would you want to come and do this? He went, yeah. He's like, this is how are you doing this? Just like, this is just ridiculous. Like, yeah, trust me, that's how I roll. So,
no,
but that was immaculate. The McLaren Technology Centre, just
it looks like an amazing building. I would absolutely love to go and see that. Did you get to see the Formula One race from Bahrain? First race of the season?
some of the highlights of it.
Great race. Promise really, of a great season, I think.
I was going to say exactly that. It does feel like could be on for a genuinely good season. Yeah. And if Hamilton could see a win, this season, with the most number of races in a season, and what's clearly going to be an even more competitive season, what a way
to smash the records.
He
probably needs to do it.
It wouldn't
this
feel
way.
like it was. Yeah, it wouldn't feel like it was. It was kind of given because nobody else was competitive. And there has been a couple of seasons in the part that he's won it where you've gone, well, I think anybody could have done that. Most
seasons, in fairness, he deserves, his era deserves to have a defining sort of 2 race or 2 driver competition, really. As we saw sort of numerous times in the past, he deserves to exit with that. I think it'll be a great season.
Absolutely. So Tom Banks is saying oodles of what? So I don't know whether Tom missed out on the discussion earlier on or not. But just in case you did, Tom, I was making the point that on Only Connect they get introduced with a little story or a little something snippet, a quirky something about something they've done in their life, and the decision was you probably would have more of those facts and claims to fame than anybody else we know.
I think so.
Tony Ross says I had Sunday dinner with the Equalizer once. I don't know whether that just means it was on the telly or whilst he was sat down with his dinner on a tray, or whether
listen, I hope it's with was it Denzel Washington played
in the films,
movies, the most films, recent movies. I thought it was fantastic. A very violent
who played the TV version?
I can picture him, but I'm trying to think what his name would have been. So slightly older gent, greyish hair. British, obviously, suited.
Great name, one of the classic names of all time.
Give me his first name, or give me his surname. Oh yeah.
I've given you his surname, in fact, technically as well.
Yeah, I can't put a name on him. I see him, but I can't put
Edward Woodward.
Ah, there we go. Yeah. Never watched it, I watched the new Avengers for a good period of time in the old days. Was it John McNee and Purdy was? Oh crikey! What's the name of that comedian that starred with Dawn French for a long period of time?
Joanna Lumley.
Yes, she was Purdy.
Never
New
a
Avengers.
comedian.
Well, that was a bit of a comic. That was a bit of a comic show, wasn't it?
Well, you're thinking because she was in Ab Fab.
Ab
She
Fab.
was in Absolutely
Yeah.
Fabulous.
With Dawn,
Yeah,
was it with
yeah.
Dawn French and
No,
Jennifer
no,
Saunders?
no.
Jennifer
Yeah,
Saunders.
Jennifer Saunders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean these aren't particularly. I was never an Ab
Tony
Fab
Tony
fan.
says Mum made dinner on the boat was in the same marina. So I'm assuming it's
Wow.
a genuine thing. So
Tom Banks, Denzel Edward Woodward. I think he means Woodward. That's the one.
So
the
see,
one
Tom's
and the
now
same.
in there.
Patrick
Patrick
McNamee.
McNee playing. Yeah.
McNee. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was great. I do remember
So
that
we're down to 3 in the PLO. We lost Sebastian Posch in fifth
look at my
place,
fives, Lee.
and
Look at my
Yanni-
fives.
Yanni has gone.
Wow.
Oh, we're seeing some hands, aren't here? Ray,
hand
and it
for
seems to be
Ray
Martin
Chan.
that's on the wrong end of some of this lately. He went chip leader and has just it's kind of all gone a little bit wrong for him since.
Hey, John Murray's come up with Gareth Hunt. He was also in the New Avengers. He was. There you go. Joanna Lumley, Gareth Hunt, and Patrick McNee. That's going back in time. Crikey. That is going
I'm
back.
amazed they've not somebody's not redone those. Everything kind of gets rehashed.
But
These
they
days.
did
I'm
get
amazed.
redone. Some maybe was it a movie that was made or something? That was a massive
Okay. Might have been,
disappointment. In
I know
comparison.
they did a movie of the Man from U.N.C.L.E. That got made into a more up to date movie.
That
I
was-
thought might have turned into like a Mission Impossible style franchise, but they did one off, and it was the same guy that played Superman. Can't think what his name is now. Henry Cavill.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I must have missed that. That sounds like it was a production for the
It's
kids.
films kind of watch. It's a watchable spy film.
Tom is now throwing random names at us in the chat box. He's just gone Linda Thee. No idea what that's in reference to
I
at
think you
all.
probably pronounced that thigh. I reckon.
Do you? You mentioned thigh to me earlier on today, did you not?
Oh yes, yeah. We
can't-
repeat that conversation.
possibly.
can we? No.
Can't possibly. Oh, it's Linda Thornley. There we go. Played Tara King.
Oh, and it's gone back the other way for Martin. Ace King versus 10 Jack of Ray, and the Ace King is good, which puts Martin back in the chip. It's been a proper roller coaster final table for Martin Rummans from Belgium. He's back in the chip lead, and they're properly going at it. These remaining 4 players.
Oh, I tell you what, Tom Banks, he's pissed. He's pissed at home. Linda
Can't
Thigh.
even type. Yeah.
Thigh has become Linda Thornley, who has now become Linda Thorson. Wow.
He's making it up.
He's just
That's what he's doing.
no credibility
Making it
there
up.
at all. Making that up. Did you ever hear of there was a crazy show back in the day called Gemini Man, which ran for a single season?
I know there's a film called Gemini Man.
Yeah, no, not
Is
the
that a
same
similar
thing at
story,
all.
or still a
Not the
completely
same.
separate thing.
No,
Okay.
it's a brilliant. I was probably 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 or something like that when I watched it. But it was cancelled after one season, which probably suggests that it was really, really bad. But I remember it as being really, really good.
It's funny how as a kid these things.
different
I remember
things,
getting to
right?
stay up to watch the A-Team. And
Oh,
thinking the
my
A-Team was
God.
just the best. Was just the best. And then they, I don't know, about 15, 20 years ago, they reran a lot of the A-Team, and you'd say, "Oh, great, reminisce." We'll sit down and watch. What is going on here?
What did they do
I
to
was
it?
a kid. It's great. Like, how is this not so good second time round? Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you what, John Murray, he doesn't say much in the chat box these days, but he says no one was as good as Emma Peel. There you go. Of course, I watched Irish TV as a kid, so I didn't catch all of these things.
Oh, I do like Frank's claim to fame. Does it
That's
get
a
much better
winner.
than
That's
that?
a winner.
Does it get
That
much
is a
better
winner.
than that?
Drove Tony Kendall to the Sky Poker Tour event in Dublin. Yes, you did, sir.
Was he on the bus? That's what I want to know.
He was
it
on the bus.
Yeah.
He was on the bus. Yeah. I think they sort of ran into each other on the bus. It wasn't a planned thing. Frank didn't say, Tony, 11 a.m., you get in and I'll bring the bus, right, for your luggage and the trophies and the shirts and stuff. Yeah. It just happened that way.
That's quite weird. On Apple devices, you get on your photo stream, it'll bring up, each day it brings up, memories and that kind of thing. And the other day, it brought up a picture of TK on mine, and it was a photo I'd taken when we were in the media room in Vegas. Last time I was in Vegas, and I'd gone in there really early one day, and thinking, I'll get a bit of peace and quiet to do a bit of work in the media room, which a lot of guys, if you're in Vegas, wouldn't even know. There's a room in the Rio anyway.
Absolutely.
And the only person that was sat there tapping away behind a laptop at that time in the morning was Tony.
Yeah. And it wouldn't have been absolutely clear whether he'd gotten there early or was still finishing off his work from the night before. It wouldn't have been clear. Yeah. No, they're one of the hardest working guys that I ever had the pleasure of working with.
Yeah, but we had a little bit of a chat because I'd had a bit of a falling out with Sky. I think I've mentioned it on the show before, and we'd not really spoken since that had happened, and he'd been the one that had to kind of had been left to pass me the bad news. I wasn't overly bothered, but it was just more the fact the way it was handled wasn't great, and they left it with him to kind of tell me what the response was, and so I was like cool about it, but I'd not really spoken to him since, and he was a little bit like, "Is everything okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's fine. Not your fault whatsoever. You just got left to pass on the message." But it was something over nothing really. But yes, he was such a gent. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely top guy.
So we've lost Ray in 4th place, and we're down to 3 now. And it was Richard King that did for Ray, and Richard's now got a decent chip lead here. But these guys are all guaranteed $400. It's $580 for 2nd place and $900 up top tonight, Des.
Nice. It's very nice. Interesting question from Tony here. Tony Ross, this is seeing as we're getting pros enter our championship events, are you looking to add a Pro-Am event? It's been a while. Well, it has been a while since we had a Pro event. I mean, our UK Team Championship is open, so pros can enter that one in the live environment. I guess it's difficult online. It's really difficult online to know who's a pro and who isn't. So that is a continual challenge, I have to say. But I don't know if when we announce season 14 whether we'll have a specific Pro-Am as such in there. We'll have to think about that.
I had a very interesting chat during the week. I've not mentioned this to you, Des. So you might remember in the event last week, there's a player from
Holland,
the Netherlands,
Mark,
who was very, very keen on his medal.
Yeah, so I saw a suggestion that he was a pro.
So Mark Roovers,
yeah,
and so I messaged Mark to say, brilliant, let us, if I can have your details so we can get a medal to you. And he openly said, well, I'm a pro. And so I said, oh, well, that's unfortunate. Just because I said that means I can't send you a medal, I'm afraid. You'll just have to make do with the cash. But very understanding about it, and said, he said, it's great tournament. He said, maybe you should make it a bit clearer that it's aimed for amateurs. I said, well, we can't block pros from playing.
Yeah.
But it is fairly kind of in your face that it's aimed at amateur players. And obviously if you choose to play it, that's great. I mean, great. We're not going to stop you, but unfortunately I can't send you the medal that you were so longingly looking forward to.
It's a shame because he was desperate to have it, wasn't he? So the right decision, because that's what we said we would do. It's difficult to not agree with him. I mean, it's hard if you've just seen that event in the lobby, and it's hard to easily identify that it's an amateur event. I mean, I'm looking at the descriptions on all of the events we're running tonight. APAT Sunday main event. So if you know APAT stands for the Amateur Poker Association and Tour, no issues. But if you're just clicking buttons before late registration finishes, it's a bit more challenging. The other option is to password them, but we don't really want to throw up barriers.
That doesn't really work for us either. So so it's easier. It's easier not to. It's the best way to see it.
Mr. Banks said he had the opportunity to drop Liv Boree to Cheltenham train station. And when she was there for the Cheltenham Literary Festival, I decided to dip out, as for sure one of my missus's friends would have seen me and he'd have had some explaining to do. He's got a high opinion of himself, Mr. Banks, hasn't he?
I mean, surely, giving somebody a lift to a train station, how is that crossing the line exactly?
No, I think that's fine. I think that's fine.
Nothing wrong with that. I need to say we are heads up in this this main event, and we've not covered a huge amount of the action here, but it's flown by, and Richard King, who was chip leader starting this final table, has got a significant chip lead, and is looking like. I mean, I don't want to block him because we've done very well with that on the show in recent times, but we're also heads up in the PLO, which is Sharon Sung against Richard Rudling Smith. So
cool.
As soon we'll keep an eye on to see if this one ends pretty quick here. It's nearly a 4-1 chip lead for Richard. Then we'll jump across to the PLO if that doesn't exit.
So Triplin is making a good point here, Lee. He's saying, how can we make it clearer? He said, I can see it written on this final table, which is, again, absolutely true. And if you if you happen to have the APAT theme on and you happen to enter the tournament and play, there is a chance that you will see its Amateur Poker Association and Tour, but you don't get to see that before you enter. That, I guess, is the challenge.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. And my take is as we've said all along, which is this is what we're aimed at, and we're going to make sure the added value doesn't go anywhere it shouldn't go, because that's the right thing to do. Because we've always been about giving back to recreational players and amateur players, and giving you guys the kudos for when you play well in poker and what you deserve from it. So we'll try and do that. But it's not impossible. Funnily enough, one thing Mark said to me, he said, "So just to let you know," he said, "the guy that finished in second's a well-known pro as well."
What? Who finished second?
I was like, really? And
how much was our buy-in on that tournament?
Yeah,
it was like a $55 buy-in.
$55 buy-in. He said, yeah. He said, I saw. Well, cheers for the info.
So that's postage and 2 medals saved. Happy days.
Yeah,
we seem to have been the big winner in that one, Lee.
Yeah, well, that's the way I looked at it. I thought we've done okay out of that. I'm not going to complain. But the guy that finished second is from Brazil. So again, I mean, that's seriously saved on postage. So I'm quite happy with that.
Oh, that's funny. I
Sending
think back
those medals are huge. Sending those medals to I've got two of the WCOAP bracelets now currently sitting with me.
Why?
Yeah. Because we've been unable to get in contact with two of the winners, and the 2 countries they happen to be from require import numbers for us to be able to ship the goods to them, and they just don't reply to emails.
That's fine. Happy days. Can you ship me one of them for my display back here, please?
Yeah. So I've So I said to Kevin, I said, well, just if you send them to me, then so I've got them, and if they do come back a calling, then I will do the necessary. But so there is a
wow. Well, maybe have the discussion with our friends over at Party and see if they can.
Yeah, no, well, we have. I've taken details from them and sent the emails to the players, and they've not come shouting saying, "Where's my bracelet that I was promised?" So, but I've got them if they ever need them. But there's 5 countries in the whole of the world that to ship something there, you need to have just as it's all in ace 10 versus the king 9. It's gone the other way for Richard, so he's going to need an ace. To avoid a king or a 9, and he does, so gets a double up. There's 5 countries which require this import number, otherwise you can't ship it. So,
wow. And
we're still desperately trying to get a medal to our friend out in Kazakhstan as well.
How do you mean? Is that one of those countries?
We've sent one, and it's just never turned up. And he said it's a real nightmare with the postal service and stuff.
Can he come and collect?
Yeah, so we've said we're going to have another go at sending another one via DHL or someone like that, which hopefully will be little bit. So, but he said, yeah, he said even if it's tracked, sometimes it comes in the country and that's the last you see of it. So somebody in Kazakhstan has got a I can't think whether it was a silver or a bronze. Somebody's got has gone
As
medal. I quite
as
fancy
basically
that.
it was a bronze, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So
Has now got as hoping they're going to end up with a set of coasters. I think is what they're hoping for.
no. What I know of Kazakhstani men, right? That thing's going to be a medallion already, right? That will be a medallion and a nice 70s sort of mid-buttoned shirt. I can see that.
You've been watching too much Borat, I think. is
Hello, you
that.
like? How you like?
But,
you
yeah,
like?
How crazy would you thought it'd be sending APAT merchandise around the world? How complicated a job it would be. But
I'm thinking digital medals, Lee. It's the way to go. We need to go back there.
yes, it worked. That was great. Everyone loved that last year. They were a real nuisance to put together, mind you. But
oh my God, what is Mr. Murray's? It's another pearl. Speaking of pros, did you notice Craig McCorkle cashed quite high in last week's event? No.
Yes, we did. Yes,
did we?
did. Yeah,
I didn't.
Yes, we did. Didn't say it. Didn't I? Didn't mention it. I just left it.
Has he got a World Series of Poker bracelet?
I think he has actually. Yes.
What the hell is he doing
Sure
playing
he
a
has.
$50 APAT event?
The trouble is there was a little bit of an overlay last week, and I reckon it's something which people just will jump into if they see a little bit of an overlay.
That is just that's just a challenge.
It's
the way we do stuff.
It's a nice tournament, and of course it's because they're freeze outs as well.
Oh, here we go again, Lee. It's jacks against sevens.
It's going to be in trouble here, I think.
That's it.
That is going to be that. We are going to lose. We are going to lose Richard King in second place. He picks up $580. So Jens Hegelmann from Germany is our main event winner for this week, scooping just over $900. The PLO event has just concluded as well.
Oh, no.
And Sharon Sung got the better of Richard Rudling Smith. So all we've got left, Des, is 6 players in the turbo. And if you don't get there quick, that'll be over in the next 5 minutes as well. So I'm busy tapping away results so I can hopefully give you guys an update on who's finished where on the leaderboard this week before we close the show for the night. So
there we go. And there is the final table. And we've got Carl is all in at the moment to Andre. Carl takes the hand and Andre's bouncy. So Andre is out. So we've got Jerome, we've got Peo, we've got Matthew, Martin, and Carl.
I thought you were working through the
I know the apostles. Well, if there's
a
day to do it, today is the day.
I was going to say, yeah.
I sort of missed a trick to finish with Jesus.
Yeah. It's like, wow. Did you see my I posted up one quiz question on Facebook today from Friday night, which was a very well received.
Oh yeah, something to do with the French. What was the answer?
So
I hadn't a clue.
Did you really not have a clue?
Well, give me the question again.
So the question was why does a French person never have a second egg?
Yes, that's the one. No, yes. I didn't. To be honest, I can't.
You don't know the answer.
No,
because one egg is enough.
Okay, that's like just poor. That's way down there with Carl with Carl's sort of standard.
Carl Pilgrim
jokes.
would love that kind of that.
No, because if you've got to explain it to him, right? It's just
I didn't have to explain it to everybody. What was beautiful on Friday night was because they all tend to go on mute whilst we're doing each round. So, but we see everybody. So everyone's cameras on, and watching when the question comes up and you see them all going, what? And then they talk to each other, and obviously somebody then gets the answer and they go, yeah. And it's a beautiful thing to watch as it that gradually happens throughout the Zoom call across the we had so I mentioned that Phil Coles and his wife Claire regularly play. They got a few extras in. So So we had Dan, is it Thurfield? Is it? He used to
Yeah,
play for
yeah.
Pfizer.
Yeah, I
So
remember
Dan,
Dan, yeah.
who's
Yeah.
Phil's best friend. So invited Dan. So Dan and his wife played. They very good on the music round. They got like 17 out of 20 on the music round. But also Tom Stewart Fielding.
Yeah.
So Tom played as well, and very, very. He was only on his own, but a very knowledgeable guy. Yeah, he scored very well as highly as well. So yeah, it's nice to see some new faces. Turning in. The Bromleys were there on Friday night, whilst munching on Easter eggs. They started on Friday.
What, on Friday night? Really? Wow. I heard Natalie had streaks of chocolate across her face.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
Yeah. So Pete Wigglesworth says, how many Frenchmen does it take to defend Paris? Is this going to be politically correct? I'm going to
watch your reaction here now. I just want to see when you twig this one.
I'm slightly worried about where he's going with it. So am I supposed to know this? Am I?
I think so. I think he's given up, Peter. I think he's given up on this one.
I'm probably going to, because I'm not. Yeah, it's.
I see. Triplin has come back with Carl. A joke a day, Pilgrim keeps me going at times, and I agree with that. I quite like some of Carl's jokes. He put something up today though that was a little darker. He was talking about a poo knife. He didn't know a poo knife was a thing, and I've got to admit, I didn't know a poo knife was a thing, and shoot me now if a poo fork ever becomes a thing. But I was looking for the punchline and it just never arrived.
Oh, really? It was just a genuine...
yeah.
That's what it is.
It was a genuine sort of U-turn on his normal joke submissions.
Oh, dear. That's slightly worrying.
Is that a thing? Do
so
people
Pete's
have
answer
those?
is we don't know, it's never happened. Okay.
he's got a very cross
it does
reaction
feel
from
slightly,
Mr. Murray.
It does feel slightly politically incorrect then. Yeah, just ever so slightly.
This is the infamous one of go to Google and type in French military victory, and it takes you to some disparaging sort of responses about the French have never had a military victory or whatever. I have seen this sort of thing happen before.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that it's entirely true.
Doing that, but not in the current world of woke Twitter. We'd be seriously, they would be piling into us.
You'll get in trouble just using the word woke.
They'll be deleting us before we know what's going on if we're not careful.
Yeah.
So
yes,
better to avoid, I think.
Triplin says U-turn. We see what you did there, Des. Well played, sir. It's nice to get the occasional bit of recognition. Thank you, Tristan. Hey, Tristan, how's your walk to Land's End going? He's going from Land's End to John O'Groats, or John O'Groats to Land's End. Over 800 miles. An amazing effort.
For what actually physically doing the actual walk, the distance?
It's a distance challenge that I think has some visuals attached to it, and the challenge is you go from A to B, you walk the length of Britain, and he's got a year to do it, and I think a lot of people are doing this, and he's a month in and cracking away on those miles.
The swimmers do a lot of this.
The channel itself.
Yeah, so they just do it as distances. So they've done. Jen's done. Jen's done swimming out to around the Isle of Wight, and and some of them do swim around the whole of the UK, and all sorts of different ones to kind of just give yourself a distance to have to swim and some sort of challenge. So it's interesting.
Great, love it. I mean, Peloton, bring it on, right? That's that whole sort of engaging, emotional sort of,
Come on, Des. Go on, Des. Sorry, you can do it. You can do it. Like, yeah, all right. And I'm paying for this.
I was going to say, I can only do it if I pay an incredibly large amount of money. Doing it in the fresh air isn't a thing any longer.
The bikes themselves are like a couple of grand, and then they want another like 60 quid a month just for you to then have access to it all. Yeah,
and they've brought out a tread now as well. So if you've got the bike, create a bit of space for your tread.
exactly.
It's not even a treadmill. We're not going to call it a treadmill. That's not high tech enough. We're going to call it a tread.
No, it's not really going to work, is it? I don't think. I did look into it and thought, well, that might be quite an interesting thing to do, but I decided against it. Funny, I've got the I get the Apple Fitness Plus stuff as part of the package that I've got with Apple, and they're quite good. Sometimes I'll put one of those on if I'm doing a rowing session, and that's okay. But a lot of the other time, I'd rather just go, well, I'm going to watch something on Netflix or something that I know is going to be half an hour, and basically I'll row for half an hour and just go, well, I keep rowing until the program finishes, and that's normally enough motivation to all I really need.
Well, when I watched the latest Apple Watch release, 1 hour simulcast from Apple HQ in wherever the hell it is, Cupertino or wherever, was just blown away at this whole Apple Health presentation. It looked absolutely superb, and it normally only takes me about 7 or 8 hours to completely get over that and think, no, that's a bad idea now. It was a great idea 7 hours ago. Today, it's a bad idea. But, Sean's got the watch, and she regularly tells me about closing the rings and all of that sort of stuff. So, yeah, she's totally engaged with it.
Yeah, I've never stuck with it or wanted to follow it because I don't want to be driven by that. But I mean, one of the girls, one of my clients, she was, we'll share and friends up and on this, but she does ridiculous number of steps every day, and it was kind of like, I'm not, to be honest, I don't need you to motivate me. I mean, I'm just going to do it when I'm going to do it. But I think I've said before that so since lockdown, Jen and I have gone out for a walk every single day. So therefore, we've hit the exercise ring every single day now for over 365 days.
Yeah, that's insane.
And also, I've done triple rings every day for 365 days in a row. But there was one night where we went for a walk and came back, and then it was about 20 to 12, and I looked at my watch. I was like, wow, why haven't the rings closed? And then I realized it had not picked up all of the exercise, and I was about 5 minutes short, and I was like,
I've got to go out.
But I went out for a walk. Yeah,
of course
I went down the road and back. Yeah, of course I did. Yeah, of course I did. Yeah, even though I knew I'd done enough already, but it hadn't picked it up for some reason. But I was like, I can't be having that. So I went out. Yeah, 20 to 12 down our road, which doesn't have any street lights on it. Our road. We live on an unmade road, so when it's at that time, it is pitch black out there. You cannot see a thing, and there's potholes and all sorts of stuff. So probably risk life and limb just so I could actually get the ring to close, so I could do it. But it's,
there's the motivator. You see, it works well.
Yeah, well, it does from that point of view. Yeah, exactly what you'd want it to do. I mean, some of the technology in some of this is great. I mean, the later Apple Watches have got the ability now. It can recognize if you've had a fall. Opposed to just I mean, so there's some ridiculous.
The tech is very impressive.
For older relatives to have this for them, and just watching Ace 5 versus Ace 7, and not only has Carl hit the 5, but also has hit the diamonds as well for a full double up to go second in chips with 3 left. But yeah, for older relatives, the fact that having one of the wearing this if they're on their own or living, and the fact that it will reckon and it will call straight away.
Yeah, it's mega.
So it recognizes they've had a fall and can make a call. I mean, that's just crazy how it can do that kind of thing. Just amazing.
Can you program it like to call Deliveroo? Yeah. Quick, hurry, bring a burger.
It's whether it knows that actually yes, and you're drunk. Yeah.
Oh, it's Friday night. Okay,
it's
no
Friday
worries.
night.
Discount.
We're not calling anybody. That's okay. Yeah,
listen, Tris is going on here. He says, "Thank you, Des. Only 70 miles in after a month. That's fine. That's awesome." Kai apparently saw me start and joined. Also, he is smashing it. So yeah, I love these little motivating stories, narratives to get behind to push you on. Mr. Banks came in.
How much are you doing? So what are you doing a day, Tris? Let us know how much you do. Or did you already see? You might have already said. Let us know how much you're walking a day, because I've got no idea what I even walk in a day when we do I think it's about 5k a day. I think we do.
But your watch should tell you that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it probably does somewhere. I've never really looked
somewhere.
I don't. Jen's very much into her stats and that kind of thing, but I'm very much just I want to go out and we do go out, and it's taken Jess for a walk. Sometimes that's a second walk because she's gone out with a dog walker or whatever. But it's a case of just and we go out and we don't. It's phones off, so you have 45 minutes to an hour.
Nice.
Where we're just unless it's an absolute emergency call, we don't even look at your phone. Just you have 45 minutes, you just go away and just don't do anything. So
oh, great! I like it.
I
like it. So Mr. Banks was suggesting that Tris goes to see Duncansby Stacks. Tristan explained that it is indeed a virtual walk. But, you know, if he's ever there, close by, he will certainly do that. And Tom says he did the North Coast 500 last year in between lockdowns. That sounds interesting. North Coast 500. Can't be 500 miles, can it? Could be, I suppose.
What, across what, from east, North Coast?
North Coast. I mean, that could be from Newcastle all the way down to Liverpool. I mean, you know, North Coast. I don't know. Obviously, you're not going to do that in a couple of days, are you?
Okay, so it's 2.4 miles
per day.
Average a day,
it's achievable target.
Which is about 4 kilometers.
Yeah,
2.4.
Yeah,
right. 4. Oh, Tris,
and of course, if you miss a day or two,
I'm doing that, Tris, as well. I'm doing that. I'll have some of that action. I'm with you.
I think over the last year, you're in the Eurotunnel, aren't you?
Tris, wait for me. Wait for me. I'm on my way, mate. I'm just.
Only you're 70 miles behind.
I'm hitchhiking to catch up with you, and then I'll be there. And I'll catch up with you and go, right, can we stop off for a coffee now or something?
Yeah. I'm knackered now. I want to go home.
Yeah.
Have you heard about this Matt Glantz? Is it Matt Glantz? Or maybe it's Gantz. Maybe it's Matt Gantz. This Republican politician in the States.
Okay.
Young guy, like 30s, you know, very shiny teeth, all of that sort of good stuff. But
all the good stuff, yeah.
You know, everything that you'd expect from a Republican, card-carrying Republican, you know, member of, you know, the Senate or a representative, whatever. He's got caught up in a ton of sex scandals and drug scandals, and it's all beginning to fall apart for him. One of Trump's disciples. So that could be an interesting story over the next couple of days.
I mean, we're just waiting for, you know, Trump to come back in to become of interest again, isn't it, really?
Yeah, he was on the telly tonight. Don't know if you saw it.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. Yeah, he was on BritBox. Awesome.
Yeah.
He's looking good. He's lost a few pounds.
Well, isn't that the way? I'm just looking at this. We've got a little story brewing here, but Peeve from Bulgaria, who's currently chip leader now in this. He's quite high up the leaderboard this week.
Wow.
Yeah, he was about. I think if where he finishes now would finish him in 4th, but he can get as high as 2nd. But he's not going to catch the leader. I just was putting some numbers in to see whether he could catch the leader if he won this. He's not going to. He's just going to miss out. So I can confirm that Gary Littman will take down the leaderboard ladders.
Great work, Gary.
For
great
week. And I don't see how the second, third, and fourth and fifth aren't going to change. It's just which order they finish in, depending on where Pio finishes here now. But Don Logan is going to pick up double tickets, but he's on step 1, Des, so that's all good. Yanni is going to pick up double tickets. He's on step 1 as well, so that's all good. Pio is double tickets. He's step 1 as well. And Nanine Rogers is double tickets and is all. So the top 5 are all step 1s.
It's a great week.
That's all right. We're good. However, there are a few in here that are going to cost us this week.
Good.
There are a few that are going to cost us. So in 6th place is going to be Jens Hegelmann from Germany. He's on step 2, so he's going to pick up an $11 token. John Murray, pesky John Murray. 4 cashes this week. John Murray finishes 9th. He was on step 2 as well, so he's going to pick up an $11 ticket this week, which means next week he's going for a 33. Gary Young has finished 11th. 3 cashes this week. He's already on step 3, Des. That's cost us $33 this week, Gary Young, and it means he's joining the step 4 club next week. It's being vacated.
He'll be its only member next week.
It's being vacated by Pete Wigglesworth, and Gary Young is burst through that door. He's got his feet up, making himself comfortable, using the executive washroom, thinking, I've got this place to myself for the week.
Oh, fantastic.
Until there's a knock on the door, and in steps Tony Ross, who's finished 15th for the week.
Really?
So Tony and Gary are going to have to share the step 4 executive bar washroom for next week, because they're both in. They're both on for going for $55 tickets next week. So yeah, Tony finished 15th in the end, so he's picked up a $33 ticket on the back of that this week. And the other one that wasn't a step 1 is Aaron Swaziland. He was a step 2, so he's picked up an $11 ticket, and we'll move on. Only just scraped in there. Oh, goodness me.
Perfect. Even sweeter.
He finished 18th, and he was in by 2.48 points. Got him into the top 20, which means he's going to pick up. And it looks like finishing in 20th this week, so is only a step 1, but is now on that ladder. That's what it's all about. Richard Rudling Smith.
Ah, nice.
Richard has got ahead of Matty Ogilvie by 0.33 of a point.
That's what Sunday nights were meant for, Lee.
Yeah. So Richard will jump up to step 2 for next week, and see whether that's the start of his ticket journey with APAT. I don't think any of those results are going to be affected by the way this now plays out.
That's good,
because PO is going to be in the top 5, and Carl and Matthew Dye here are both. This will be their first cash of the week.
Yeah.
So
listen, if you're in the
wherever, so yeah.
If you're in the chat box, guys, let us know what you think of this promo, the way we're positioning this. Whether in fact it's interesting, it's fun, it's worth doing, or it's just another thing and it's incidental as to whether you move up or down. Would love to hear. We need to do a poll at some point soon, Lee, or not a poll, but maybe some sort of survey. Throw some questions out to the group, the wider group, just asking about some of this stuff. Lovely to hear.
No, absolutely. We could do a survey monkey. Everyone does.
Survey monkey.
Survey monkey. We should just fire a survey monkey.
We could we fill in the answers first?
Yeah, if you want to. Don't see any reason why not. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. So busy old week this week. Obviously, so Scoop, we mentioned Scoop earlier on, that started. Obviously, the GG Spring Festival.
Yeah.
That's kicking off. You're going to have one more shot at the Irish Open tomorrow, I think it is. They've got
where
are
they up to, Lee? What's the prize pool up to?
They've done what,
800k was day 1, right? Day 1A.
So they did, so they did 877. Did I say it was?
Yeah, sounds about right.
851 was day 1A. It's $1 million guarantee, so they were only 150 players.
Smashed
that. So tonight, the where are we? Day 1B did 804.
So they're at 1.7.
So it's at 1.6 million, and then I think it's tomorrow. Yeah, so tomorrow at 3:05, there's like a turbo day 1C.
Sweet.
And then I think the day 2 then takes place at like about 7:00 tomorrow night.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're going to outrageously smash that number. I mean, they've already outrageously smashed it, but
I'd be interested to see how many play the turbo. It'd be interesting to see how many they get in for the turbo. So they've had 800 odd for each of the normal ones to take it to 1.6 mil.
Would you pay this would you play this sort of buy-in, a day 1C and a turbo?
If I might tomorrow have a go at the satellite, because there'll be I would imagine there will be a satellite into that tomorrow. Let's have a look. whether they're throwing anything in there or whether they're just actually there's nothing planned at the moment, which is interesting. The past two, for day 1A and day 1B, they did 100 seat guarantee. Um, yeah, but it's if you can get in and satellite in, you can go from €11 up to 109 and into €1,000 and give
Yeah.
it a whirl. But there's some lovely tournaments in the whole schedule, the Irish Open schedule. There's some nice stuff in there to play. So that's gonna go on this week. Obviously, Powerfest will be starting in a couple of weeks' time. But yeah, just a crazy amount of action going on.
Maybe we should get a bunch of people on the stream for the final table and do a watch along. What do you think? We could have a bunch of people now. We'd have like
Yeah, so
4 extra people on with us.
So the final table is on Wednesday. So I think that's Wednesday night. About
Of course,
7
I'm
o'clock.
going to assume that's probably going to be a pretty late finish.
I don't know, because if they're bringing a final table back and it starts at 7 o'clock,
That's a good point. Yeah, it's a good
it could
point.
be done. It could easily be done in a couple of hours.
That is a good point.
It really,
Oh,
yeah. I mean, I don't know what the very difficult to know what the payouts are going to be, because they've. I can see what the payouts are going to be guaranteed on the million. Obviously, it's going to be more than that. But that final table, so it's even at $1 million, it's going to have 170,000 up top, and ninth place finish is 14 grand. So yeah, the players are going to be well in the cash at that point.
I think you're
And
going to be
obviously
looking
it'll
at
be
3,
significantly more than
350,
that.
3,
Yeah, it'll be
350.
significantly more than that. I would have thought, 300. I'd have thought by the time that plays out. But I think everybody that makes I think they were saying everybody that makes day 2 is in the money. I think.
Nice.
I'm sure I saw somebody make that comment. I mean, there's a couple of big stacks already through from the day 1A. Isaac Haxton, Haxton's 5th in chips, Patrick Leonard's 8th in chips. So there's going to be some big names in that, I'd imagine. But it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Be nice to see some rec players doing well in that. So we've heads up in this turbo knockout.
Carl
So
against
it's
Peo.
Peo against Carl. So Matthew Dye finishes in 3rd place. And yeah, Peo's got nearly a 3-1 chip lead here, so it's his to lose. I would suggest.
Well, of course, this
Yeah, so
can.
Peo wins this. He will finish 2nd on the leaderboard for the week, which is a great effort of 4. So Gary's got 4 cashes. Peo will have had 4 cashes. Don Logan had 5 cashes. Yanni had 5 cashes. John Murray finished 9th with 4 cashes. Very consistent week. I don't know how many of the tournaments the guys are playing. There's 16 tournaments in total in the week, but to think if even if the likes of Don and Yanni played all 16 and they're cashing in a third of them,
Yeah,
getting 5 cashes in a week is
good going.
pretty good going.
Yeah, it's good
Pretty
going,
good
no question. So Peo is in push mode here, Lee. I don't know if he's pushing any 2, but he's pushed the last couple of hands.
Looking to get this over. Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's certainly impacted Carl's stack pretty significantly over those last couple of hands. It's good shape here. So a fruity board, ace 6.
Well, the other thing is, if Peo wins this, it does mean that actually Richard Rudling Smith will move up to 19th on the leaderboard, and he was, what did I say, a third of a point ahead of Matty Ogilvie. Well, if Peo wins this, Matty Ogilvie will sneak onto the top 20 leaderboard.
Wow.
And go up a step next week, because one of the other players will have then dropped lower down. So there is a little bit to play for here on this. So Tristan says no joy in getting in the Irish, but he said WPT mains definitely worth a go. So they're on I've seen the satellites for those now. I don't think the WPT main starts until, I want to say, about May time, I think it is. Let's have a look. Yeah, because they're doing a lot of phases for that at the moment. But I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's May. So the WPT day 1As and day 1Bs are the 16th of May and the 23rd of May. But there's a $3 million guarantee on that with $3,000 buy-in. So,
and Lee, on Tuesday, producing the next episode of The Orbit.
yeah, we are.
Can we say anything about
Looking
that?
forward to I don't know. Can we really?
I think we can do. We can give a little hint.
Well, I suppose we could. We are. Yeah, we're going to have a chat with. Yeah, can't really say who's on the panel. But we're going to have a chat with. Yeah, but we're going to have a chat with the panel about an anniversary of a kind of quite a critical period in poker history that is sneaking around. Am I allowed to say any more than that, or is that
well? I'll put it to you this way: that's so well disguised that even though I know what's happening on Tuesday, I have no idea what you're talking about. But it'll be worth watching this one. I think could be a bit.
Yeah,
smoky.
I think so. There's going to be a fair few stories and opinions and views on one of the real moments in online poker history. So, looking forward to it.
Looking forward to that.
Looking forward. Did you see the April Fools on Thursday with the Chris Moneymaker's name isn't really Chris Moneymaker?
yeah. I must admit, I mean, I twigged that one pretty quickly.
Yeah. But it was the most woeful photoshopping of a driver's license I've ever seen. I mean, it wasn't even a proper effort was made. I mean, it really, really wasn't. If they'd have actually gone to a little bit more effort with the Photoshop, it might have been a bit more believable. But yeah, and was it they had Norman Chad quote in it as well? I mean, they'd gone to a lot of effort to try and make it believable, but their photoshopping skills really let them down.
Yeah, it did feel a little to me like
right. Yeah.
10 p.m. the night before they went, this is what we can do. And somebody desperately sort of wrote up a story. A nice idea. It's nice to see the effort still coming in on April Fool's Day.
Great photoshopping from Yeo Valley, who did did it on the quiz. It was they had what they were calling Muar codes, where you could track the particular cow that your dairy product had come from, and they'd photoshopped QR codes shaved into the sides of cows, and it looked really good.
It's brilliant.
But quite obviously it was just it's a load of nonsense. But yeah, the Chris Moneymaker one wasn't falling for that.
That is pretty good. So. That is pretty good.
Yeah, no, it's to say the least. So Irish Open be interesting. Say anyone might give that turbo a go tomorrow.
Yeah,
at 3:00. Gets you into the day 2 at 7:00. It's a good way of getting in if you can do it. But if they put some satellites up tomorrow, I might give it a shot on a bank holiday if I've not got anything else going on.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
But we'll have to see how that one pans out.
And
say plenty happening.
Yeah, with I guess with Easter behind us, as it will be come close tomorrow. We will be on the run into the spring bank holiday, the May Day bank holiday, and into summer, which effectively will be the Euros and the Olympics and all of that good stuff. So a lot of, really interesting and positive things ahead.
Time they've said they're going to put I saw on the news today, so they're going to put some fans in for one of the cup semi-finals.
Yes.
And they mentioned about the snooker. Again, which obviously when I saw that, I first of all thought of you and your kind of your dilemma on what to do with the snooker. So they're using that as one of the trial or the test events again for reopening things up, which is all positive.
Well, the qualifiers start tomorrow. So if you're a qualifier, you have to get through 4 rounds to make it into the last 32 in Sheffield. So that kicks off tomorrow. And one of those matches starting tomorrow, a first round qualifier, is one Jimmy White against one Stephen Hendry.
No. Really?
Yes.
Wow,
I think it's kicking off tomorrow evening.
How many rounds do they need to get through to
4
to make it through? So 4 qualifying rounds gets you through. I mean, so why does the likes of them both, they just still want to try and get through? I mean, when was the last time either of them actually played in the actual?
Well, Jimmy White's has continued to play in the circuit. He's never come off of the circuit as far as I'm aware. But of course, his ranking has dropped to the point that he needs to do qualifiers and stuff. So every now and again, Jimmy will pop up at the first, second round proper of a tournament. Don't think he's made it through to the Crucible for a while, although it wouldn't surprise me if he has been there, at least once in the last 4 or 5 years. But unfortunately, the way the rankings work is that, Hendry's just come back in the last couple of months. So he's fresh back onto the circuit. He just wanted to give it a go. So they will start in the first qualifying round. There's already somebody sitting in the draw waiting for the winner of that game, right? So the way the seeding works, it's not like you've got 128 players and whoever wins match 1 plays the winner of match 2. So there's already somebody ranked significantly above them both who's sitting in the second qualifying round waiting for the winner of that game. And there's already somebody, as we lose that table there's already somebody sitting in the third round waiting for the winner of the second round. And there's somebody waiting in the fourth round for the winner of the third round. So
it's sort of like the playoff type seeding where
exactly.
You don't have to play all of the rounds.
Correct. As Peo.
Yes, I was going to say it's a first hand back after the break, and Peo P from Bulgaria takes down the Turbo Knockout, beating Carl Simcock, which secures Peo that second place finish in the leaderboard this week and sneaks Matty Ogilvy in at the 20th place position. So quick summary of where we ended up. The deep stack was won by somebody from Russia. Nay, I just cannot. I'm not going to try. No point in even going there. The Sunday main event, Jens Hegelmann from Germany scooped the $900 and finished very high on the leaderboard with that result as well. Richard King finishing second from the UK and Martins Rumens from Belgium in third. In the PLO, it was Sharon Sung that saw the better of Richard Rudling-Smith in second place, with Hratch Kigiatin from Belgium in third. And as we've just seen there, or didn't see, Peo P picked up the Turbo Knockout, beating Carl Simcock heads up. Actually, if you look at the difference there, they both picked up $100 in from the prize pool. Carl scooped $24 in bounty tournaments. Peo, $172.
Get involved, right? Get involved.
That's not just the bounty from that last heads up one. That's from having scooped a load of bounties during the tournament. Matthew Dye finished in third place on that, and that's the week as it was. We're done.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Lee. Thanks everyone for playing tonight and, spending a couple of hours with Lee and I. We're going to be back same time next week. So we'll do it all over again then.
Hopefully, we should have Asa with us next week if his internet is okay.
Brilliant.
He's had a few,
awesome.
But it's been planning to, he said it booked in. So as long as his internet, because it has been playing up a little bit for him, he said, but as long as he can get that sorted and it's all good, he is planning on joining up with us next week.
Superb. Well, that'll be really interesting because, of course, we'll have seen Man City play Dortmund and, Liverpool, Madrid, and there should be some good discussion topics coming out of those two alone.
Yeah.
Okay, so have a great week ahead, guys. Don't forget to play the tourneys. I'm going to run the promo now, and Lee and I will speak to you again next Sunday night. Have a good one.
Night, guys.